morning, everyone. Good day, good day. Welcome to today's session. My name is Natabela Mashabwani from AfricaKidsCode, and today I'm going to be your facilitator for the topic Keep Your Family Safer Online. So, in today's session, there is a lot of discussion and we are going to learn from each other's experience. So there will be plenty of times whereby I'll be asking you your experiences, tips, and advices. Please be willing to share and help out your fellow participants. Introduction to online safety. So let's discuss the challenges on parenting in the digital age. Modern kids have never known a time when they couldn't connect to the entire world via the internet. In fact, they probably spend more time online than anyone else, certainly more than you, the parents. So let's dive in and help us as parents better understand the landscape. So being online is part of everyday life. 48% to 66% of the SSA population are already online. Ask yourself how old you were when you got hold of this kind of technology. For kids today, the internet is becoming a part of growing up. So I would like to ask you, how old were you? 15, 18, 24? You can put your comment. Okay, I might not be able to see your comments, but I am with my fellow colleagues. They'll be able to see those comments coming on. Let's discuss the discussion now for everyone. What do your children actually do online? Okay, now I can be able to see. So there's Nerissa Roberts says, I have 2 kids, ages 4 and 9. And there's somebody to say 30 there. Okay, now I can be able to see your comments. So Nerissa Roberts says, my son plays chess, reads books, and plays games. Thank you so much for that. And then Sipokazi says, I was 21. Thank you also. So what does your children actually do online, Sipokazi? Okay, thank you so much, Mangaliso, for answering to Nerissa's question there. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So how do children use the internet? Okay, there's Tulufelo saying, hi, he plays games and watch Netflix, research for school projects. Thank you so much, Tulufelo, for that comment there. So the digital technology has become a fundamental part of children's lives. The children need to understand this same principles apply online. So it says them 64% 64% chat online with their friends, and 52% watch video clips. 53% play online games against friends and strangers. So Tulufero also said that his child plays games and watch Netflix. So it is relevant to this. Thank you so much for that. Let's move on to the next slide. Let's get to know one another. What are the biggest concerns faced in keeping your children safe online? So what I would like you to do is going to introduce yourself, saying your name, where you are from, and what are the biggest concerns you're facing with keeping your children safe online. So I'll start. So my name is Matapelo Mashapane from Ivory Park, Midrand, South Africa. And the biggest concern that I face is that seeing my child downloading videos such as pornography. So anyone else? Let's discuss with people. Okay, my name is Nerissa Roberts from Joburg. Thank you so much. And it says, entertain with strangers, finding information inappropriate for his age. Indeed. Anyone else? Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So you're not alone. Many more parents share the same worries and are search for help. So let's see what are those parents saying. There's another parent saying parents need to be more involved and engaged or educated. And there's another one saying my children are more tech than I am. And there is another one saying safety is paramount. I'm concerned with what they get up to when I'm not monitoring them. There is this other one saying this is the era of technology. Kids don't play outside anymore. People can pretend to be online. And then there's another one saying, I don't want them being things they shouldn't be stumbling across. So with so many concerns out there, this session will offer some tips on how to positively approach this. But the internet is a vast place, right? And while some parents may approach this concerns by restricting or limiting access to the internet, it may not be the best approach. So, as they say tech is an amazing force of good. We've got 76% that use the internet for homework and research. So parents often forget the positive side to tech and they should embrace and reinforce it. We want to embrace the opportunities available for kids out there to use tech. You can get access to a wealth of information for learning or homework. There are lots of interactive tools, games that can aid learning, some of which can be done with parents. Where to find opportunities for work, from starting a blog to following your favorite artists on Instagram, the internet can be a great way for young aspiring creatives to get started. As we see there, we've got 45% research, work and study opportunities, and then we've got 33% created and uploaded their own music. Interesting. So we should see tech as an enabler, but also with some much power comes more responsibility and a need for a better understanding of how we're using it. Therefore, it's imperative you get involved in a child's online activity and guide them through it safely. We're going to go through the common areas that children come up against when browsing online. So we've got an agenda there. These are the three aspects that we're going to cover. The first one is set digital ground rules for the family. And then the second one is discover and manage family-friendly content. The third one is protect your family's online privacy and security. Let's set digital ground rules. So every family is different, and therefore the limitations, restrictions, and guidelines you want your family to live their digital lives should be up to each individual family. Setting ground rules can help you enjoy the best of the internet while understanding that there's a limit where the good of the internet can become a negative impact if abused and overused. So let us have some questions there and discuss what kind of ground rules do you currently set for your family online? Okay, I see there were comments there. There is Tulu Fellow saying, my name is Tulu Matiaza around interaction with strangers when playing online games. Nerissa saying, signing up or paying for apps. Thank you so much for those conversations. So Mangaliso says, I'm watching from 4 ways, Jovet. My concern is chatting to strangers. I also understand your concern, indeed. Okay, so I asked the question there. Okay, Nerissa said limited time for online activity. Thank you so much for that, Nerissa. So moving along to the next slide. Some options for digital ground rules. One, you can establish boundaries around screen time. Two, you can create family rules about what to share. And three, establish family values online. By establishing family values online, I mean consider managing their behavior by establishing how you expect them to act online, treating others as they want to be treated, and saying online only what they would say face-to-face, a great place to start. So, I have a question to ask you parents. How do you currently approach screen time with your children? Are you good with screen time yourself? Yes, no. So let's see some of the possible options to balance screen time. We've got the positive impact on screen time and the negative impact on screen time. The first one is complete homework. Search for information online and in some school, complete and submit work remotely. The second one, which is positive impact, is connect with friends and family, keep in touch and share what is happening. We also have the negative impacts, which are the downsides. The first one is effect on sleep. Sleep cycles are affected by blue light from screens, tricking our brain into thinking it is still daylight, making it difficult to sleep. And then, secondly, we've got spending less time with others or outdoors. So there are concerns that the children are spending less time outdoors and with peers because they are on devices. Not all online activities are created equal. Take the time to assess how particular activities that your child is doing can help or hinder their development as they grow. So the kind of questions that you can ask yourself is what kind of activities would you like to limit your child's time on? What kind of activities would you like to see your children do more of? Do you want to see them read more or research more? Do your children show a tendency towards any particular apps or programs, apps that will help them further their education? So how much time a child should spend using their device is up to you, but there are ways to help set limits when you want to. We have a tool that will help us, which is the Family Link. So the Family Link helps parents manage their child's Google account, Chromebook, or Android device so they can set detailed ground rules that work for their family. We are extra protective when it comes to families, so we take care of our youngest users by providing parents with the best support to help their children enjoy quality content that parents feel good about. So moving on to see how our family link is working or how we should set it up. We adjust control setting. So to set up family link, you will need to create a Google account for your child or family member. So you're going to link it to your account. You can do this prior or through the Family Link app. Download the Google Family Link for children from your App Store. Then open the app. Let the child sign into the app using their Google account. One thing that you should note is that if your child is under 13, Google will prompt you to link your email account with theirs. Then follow the prompt to accept the terms and conditions. Still continuing with setting up our family link. So caretaker will be prompted to download family link for parents on their own device. And then the caretaker will be prompted to activate the family link. If you don't understand this very well, my colleagues are there to help you out. You can write your comments there on the chat and they'll be able to help you out. So these are the things kids screen time. So that's basically what the family link helps you to do. It will set daily screen time limits, set a device bedtime, set per app time limits, grant bonus screen time. For example, bedtime, it set a bedtime routine to lock your child's phone while they sleep. Homework or dinner, it locks devices immediately so they can focus on other activities like studying or spending time with family. You might decide the right amount of screen time for your child. It depends on what they're watching, playing, or learning. So use Family Link app activity reports to see which apps your child is using most. Thanks to Family Link, now we can be able to check what our kids are doing, or we can be able to restrict certain things that our children shouldn't see or do. Okay. So we've got 3 things that we should consider when setting limits around screen time. You should set rules for your children's account, such as content filters and time limits, as I mentioned, and let your children know that this may change as they get older. Settings should evolve over time. Don't just set it and forget. Another thing, keep an eye on usage. You might decide the right amount of screen time for your child. Depends on what they're watching, playing, or learning. Use Family's Link app activity reports to see which apps your child is using most. You can also support your child. So more experts suggest that we should focus more on what children are doing online and less on how long they are online. Encourage them to engage with games and apps that teach them creativity or problem-solving skills. So keep an eye on your kids' screen time, lock child's device remotely. Whether it's time to go play outside, have dinner, or just spend time together, you can remotely lock a device whenever it's time to take a break. Let us talk and have a discussion there. How would you talk to your children about screen time? Looking at balancing homework with social media. If your child only wants to spend time online, keep a positive attitude towards screen time. So how would you talk to your child about screen time? Let's talk, let's see those discussions, those comments. How would you talk to your children about screen time? Will you tell them to research more? Or will you tell them to download apps that are relevant to the schoolwork? Let's keep those comments coming. Discuss with your family about screen time. Of course, it's important for children to know and understand why finding screen time balance is important. For that reason, we would like to suggest using these 3 discussing points for talking about screen time with your children. Firstly, does technology ever prevent you from being present? To begin, are there any devices that sometimes cause people to miss out on things that matter to them? Secondly, how does screen time affect focus and why does it matter? Were there times and cases your family feels it's important to be focused? Then thirdly, reflect on ways to control screen time. What I mean about that is that allow your children to help you come to a solution on how to balance their own screen time. So let's share the content. So the digital age has made it super easy to share info online, and we're able to connect with friends and families through our mobiles and social media. However, with this accessibility, there are consequences. Can you think of any negative consequences to the freedom of expression? Sharing online has given children what? Any negative consequences to the freedom of expression? Sharing online can give what to children? Okay, there is invasion of privacy. There's also digital footprint or social comparison. So creating rules around what to share will help your family be more aware, manage their info online, such as photos or private info. Setting expectations around sharing. First, digital footprint. So together with the children, search online for yourself or a musician that they love and talk about what you find. You might want to check the results in advance. Talk about what others can learn about you from these results and how you online. Secondly, help minimize social comparison. Make sure that your child knows that what friends share online is just one part of the whole story, and it's usually the highlight. Remind them that everyone Remind them that everyone also has boring, sad, or embarrassing moments that they don't share. Thirdly, teach them about oversharing. Brainstorm some solutions for oversharing, such as taking down what was shared or fixing privacy settings. If it happens, help keep things in perspective. Some embarrassment moments are serious, but others are just good learning moments. Fourthly, discuss responsibility in sharing positive content and not participating in harassment. So talk about tone of voice and remind your children that it's easy to misinterpret someone's meaning online. Encourage them to assume good intent and talk to friends directly if they are unclear about someone's meaning. Talk about how good it feels to send and receive positive messages online. Consider using one of your own apps together to send a positive comment or message. A better internet, one free of bullying, division, hate, and crime, isn't just an inspiration, it's truly possible. And it starts with the individual digital user. It starts with you, with me, and the next generation of users we're raising. Moving to family values. So family values. So I would like to ask you a question. What kind of data do you let your children share? Are there any restrictions or ground rules set out around the use of specific sharing apps? Or do you just allow them to share? Again, it comes back to those negative consequences of freedom of expression, which are those invasion of privacy, the digital footprint I mentioned earlier. So establish family values online. What should you do? Be clear about how you expect them to act online. Talk about online harassment. Talk about the power of positive messages online. So the internet offers entertainment for everyone. Many of us spend our time on the internet through laptops, smartphones, and iPads. The internet gives us access to the entertainment received online. We watch videos, view feed photos, and experience new topics and areas of internet online. So even business owners use the internet to connect with customers online, and you can be able to do your online shopping. You can be able to do online shopping in America, Asia, Africa, or anywhere where you are connected through some simple clicks of the mouse. That's so simple. That's how internet makes our lives simple and easy. So I'm going to pause for questions. If you have any questions, do you need any clarity? If you do, please post those questions on the comments. Okay, I see Tulufelo says, I've allowed my son to use the FB Kids Messenger app. So as I said, do you have any questions? If you do, post them on our chat, and then my fellow colleagues will help you out on those. So Nerissa says, family link slide is still showing. Is that correct? I'm on pause for questions. Which slide are you guys seeing? Okay, I see there are questions coming. So Jenny says family link. So there's someone saying an 11-year-old not on social media. Okay, thank you for your comments. Let us continue. And move to discover family-friendly content. So in this section, we'll demonstrate where possible the tools that can be used to filter and control what can be seen online. Let's have a discussion there. What kind of content are children exposed to online? So many of this that you'll be saying on the comments, they will come across will depend on your child's age and maturity level. Get a sense of which of these are most worrying to parents and how do they currently monitor if their children has come across this. It can be difficult to monitor what your child is viewing as they can access this material through any internet-enabled device, including mobile ones such as phone or tablet. Now we know kids will be kids because they're naturally curious, but there are many technical tools and parental tools you can use to filter content and sites, and let's look at an approach that should help. So we have that family link that can be able to restrict content or filter sites that your children shouldn't look at. Got a family-friendly content. So a family link provides a comprehensive set of features for finding and managing family-friendly content. It set content restrictions in Google Play through family link, blacklist or whitelist specific websites. It set filters for web browsing, and turn safe search on and off with family link. So if getting parental control coverage installed on each of your family's devices seems too difficult, consider the feature available through the broadband providers. Move to the next one, or you can just simply set up parental controls directly on your browser. If you're using the Google Chrome browser, available as a free download, there's a feature that lets you create different account profiles for supervised users and managers, giving you complete control of how your children use the internet. Safari has built-in restriction settings you can activate to block adult content. Firefox and IE also have varying parent control you can activate. We've got tools that we can use, which is the first one is Google search. That will block explicit sites with safe search directly in the browser. So safe search helps to filter explicit content out of search results. When safe search is on, it helps block explicit images, videos, and websites from Google search results. Remember, YouTube is not available for children under 13 years unless he or she is using your account. So we go to settings, under save search, filters, check or uncheck the box next to turn on save. Then at the bottom of the page, select save. Move on to the next tool, which is YouTube. So restricted mode is an additional setting which can be enabled on the YouTube website and app. It identifies and filters or potentially mature of objective content. So restricted mode is there to help protect their YouTube experience when you're watching YouTube content together. When enabled, you will also not be able to see comments on the videos that you watch to avoid Hi guys again. So sorry about that. I think it's network connectivity. So as I was saying, how do you protect your family from negative content? And I was giving you guys some of the ideas. And the first one, I said, start a conversation. Talk to your child about what they might find on the internet. Help them understand that sometimes they may come across things that they or would prefer not to see and that might upset them. Encourage them to come and talk to you about it. The second idea that you can do or we have there is think before you click, meaning help your child understand that clicking on pop-ups or links in unsolicited emails that offer things that are too good to be true may end up in them accessing content they didn't intend to see. Teach them to ignore pop-ups. When I mean about pop-ups, I mean pop-ups such as, hey, you won yourself an iPhone. That it's not true at all. It sounds too good to be true. And then we move to the last one. You can supervise if you can. If you can try and be in the same room as your child when they are online, that way you can keep an eye out for what kind of content they are accessing. And then we are going to pause for questions. So I'm not going to wait there. I'll just move on as time is no longer on our side. And then you just put your questions on the chat and my fellow out. Protect your family security and privacy. So we've got a question again. It says, what is the most popular social media platform for kids? You can put those answers there on the chat box. So we live online. Children as well as adults like to post pictures online. Our online profiles also show a lot of personal information about us, such as our age, where we went to school, the location we are in, activities we like. Unfortunately, this type of information only helps scammers and groomers to manipulate children. With children removing the privacy settings, that leaves a lot of information open on the web for everyone to use. The first step to helping your children stay safe is understanding ourselves the type of information available on each platform and what privacy settings we can control. Protecting your family's security. There are three main points to protecting family security. We all know you care about your family's security online. What affects the child also affects the entire family. So what kind of dangers to both your family's and your own security exist when participating on online activities? We're going to cover three topics, which is the first one is stranger danger, the second one is identity fraud, and the third one is cyberbullying. The first one, which is stranger danger. So it says it's also known as an online grooming. And online grooming is a word used to describe people befriending children in order to take advantage of them for sexual purposes. It's easy to pretend to be someone else on the internet, so children can sometimes end up having conversations with people whose real identities they may not know, like the ones who ask to be your friends, but there is no profile picture there. Those ones we should all be aware of. Let's start by understanding some of the things to look out for. So what are the things that you should look out for? Being secretive about who they are talking to online. When your child starts to be secretive about who she is or he is chatting with online, You need to look out for that. Secondly, using sexual languages you wouldn't expect them to know. You should also look out for that. Thirdly, switching screens when you come near the computer. Then you have to know that definitely something is wrong. If you are coming near your child's computer and he or she just switches screen, then something is definitely wrong. You need to look out for that. So how you speak to your kids about online grooming. We talked about starting a conversation. There's a saying here. It says, I read a story about an adult pretending to be a child online. Have any of your friends experienced anything similar? Yes, no. Can put those comments on the chat box. So talk about the risk. Make sure your child knows that not everyone online is who they say they are. Encourage them to come and talk to you if they are not sure about the identity of someone online. Agree to the rules. Discuss with your family about where you stand on sharing information with strangers online, keeping secrets from parents and boundaries to individual privacy, sharing pictures of their bodies, houses, or friends, meetings with friends they have met online in an offline space. Stay engaged. From time to time, review their social media together. You, as a family member, might want to be their friend online to ensure they are making sensible choices. If you do friend them, watch and observe rather than take part. So those are the three things. You talk about the risk, agree on the rules, and then stay engaged. Privacy and identity fraud, which is the second aspect that we're going to talk about. It's important to know, just like adults, children may be at risk of having their online identity stolen and misused. It can be difficult to maintain a child's privacy as they may not understand what information is safe to share online or what default privacy settings are on the sites and devices they are using. If a child's identity is stolen, it may not be noticed for many years and could, in some cases, lead to a child being the victim of blackmail, grooming, or bullying. Let's start by understanding some of things to look out for. So what to look out for? You may start to suspect a child's identity has been stolen if they first get a bill for something they haven't ordered. Then you know that something is wrong. Start to get emails from an organization they don't recognize. Receive any letters regarding government benefits or tax payments. Then, if you see those three aspects there or any other, you have to know that something is wrong. So how should I protect my child from identity theft? Firstly, check their online privacy settings. Go through the privacy settings with your child for every social networking site and app they'll sign up to. Agree with them what they'll share and with who. Secondly, check their device settings. Check the privacy settings on their smartphones and tablet devices. Things to look out for are whether they are set up for location services, sharing of content, photos and calendars, Bluetooth sharing, microphone, video, and advertising. So thirdly, find out what is already out there. Search your child's full name in several search engines and see what information and photographs are public. Use platforms like DCMe to check their online exposure. Lastly, take action and go. So website on which they appear to remove inaccurate comments or photographs. When using public computer, your child can use incognito browsing. If your child's identity has been stolen, be sure to tell websites about the problem and get your child to log in and change their password immediately. Enable privacy settings across social media platforms. Personal privacy and security are just as important online as they are offline. Privacy settings need to be updated across any platforms that your children may be using. Most social media platforms that they may be using will have privacy settings that you can update. So here are some examples of social media platforms that you may be familiar with. Typically, the age limits for this setting is and they'll have privacy settings that you can update to protect their data and digital footprint. Are you familiar with these platforms? Have you updated your own privacy settings on each of these platforms? On YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok? I guess TikTok, most of people are familiar. Actually, all of this, most people are familiar with them. Enable privacy settings on. So you open your YouTube and click on your profile account to access account menu. Choose your channel. Choose the options button next to any videos. On the privacy settings, choose between private, unlisted, or public. Unlisted means that you can share the video through a link but won't be available to people who are just browsing. Or use the Videos tab to edit video settings. Select the menu next to a video and select Edit. Tap Privacy to edit the privacy settings of your videos. So talk to your children about setting strong password. Help them create a password that is strong, unique, to protect their online accounts. Follow these tips for a good password. Make your password unique, longer, memorable. Use letters, numbers, and symbols. Avoid personal info and common words like your name, your school name, your mother's name, and so forth. Even if we lock down our security settings, anyone able to hack into an account has total access to all of our information. Furthermore, once one account is hacked, a scammer can use this information to influence others. Therefore, one of the best protective against fraud is a strong password. Okay, moving along to the next slide. Which is cyberbullying. Anyone who knows what cyberbullying means can put your comments on the chat. It's really important that children who are bullied online know what simple steps they can take to help them to cope and how to ask for support. So 47% of children interviewed reported experiencing some form of digital harassment. Let's look at some do's and don'ts to give you as parents some support. As I mentioned there and asked that, what do you think cyberbullying is? How is it different to other forms of bullying? Let's see how bullying has changed. face-to-face bullying. Bullying changes the digital world encourages more children to take to social media and anonymous messages apps to share their experiences and manage relationships. So smaller audience with close quarters, which is the face-to-face bullying, limited to those within view. Bully can be identified, easier to prove and punish. Then we come to cyberbullying. Reach a vast audience in a matter of seconds. Hateful comments and images being shared multiple times. Offer a degree of anonymity to the perpetrator. Difficult to police and to punish. So cyberbullying differs from traditional bullying, and in that it doesn't take place at school or in the street. It can encroach into the home as children spend time online using phones, tablets, or computers. This is a new form of bullying that parents are not familiar with. One of the biggest differences between cyberbullying and face-to-face bullying is that it can be hard to get away from. Young people could be bullied anywhere, anytime, even if they are at home. Are you familiar with some of the terms? Are you familiar with harassment, outing, trolling, bans, roasting, griefing? Let's share those comments there. If yes, what do you think they mean? So harassment is targeting an individual or group with persistent and offensive messages which could develop into cyber stalking. Then outing, public sharing personal, private, or embarrassing information, photos or videos about someone online. Trolling, deliberately posting provocative and insulting messages about sensitive subjects or inflicting racism or misconduct on an individual. And then bans, not really serious about it. Kids could be cruel but get away with it by saying it was just for bans or for fun. Then roasting, ganging up on an individual online and sending offensive abuse until the victim is seen to crack. Griefing, abusing and angering people through online gaming. So there are some cruel things that children post to one another out there. So what to look out for when you suspect that your child is being bullied online? Stop using their electronic devices suddenly or unexpectedly. Secondly, seem nervous or jumpy when using their devices or becoming obsessive about being constantly online. That means he or she is hiding something. Then you need to look out for that. Then reluctance to go to school or take part in usual social activities. Those are some of the things that you have to look out for. So how to talk to your children about bullying? The things do, find out why, try and establish the facts around the incident and keep an open mind. Secondly, talk it through. Talk about the blurred line between uploading and sharing content because it's funny or might get lots of likes versus the potential to cause offense or hate. Teach by example. Model and encourage positive behavior in your child and praise them as they take this on board. Then learn from it. Above all, help your children from what has happened. Think about what you could do differently as a parent or as a family and share your learning with other parents and carriers. So the things that you shouldn't do, don't get upset. Make sure that you stay calm when discussing it with your children. Don't ignore it. Take the situation seriously and don't blame someone else. Don't condone it. If your child was cyberbullying in retaliation, you should tell them that two wrongs cannot make it right, and it will just encourage the bully's behavior. Don't take away their devices. This could make the situation worse and encourage them to find other ways to get online, which is not good at all. So let's see what you have to say. What are some ways you would bring up bullying with your children? So if you have any questions, put them on the comments, and then my fellow colleagues will surely help you out on those questions. So we are about to end our talk or our session. Here are some tips and resources to explore the Google Safety Center. There's a Safety Google. Then Be Internet Awesome. So Be Internet Awesome is designed to teach children the skills they need to be safe and smart online. It is based on 5 core pillars, which is being smart, alert, strong, kind, and being brave. So when you share with care, you are being smart. You don't fall for fake, you're being internet alert. Secure your secrets, you're being internet strong. It's cool to be kind, you're going to be internet kind. When in doubt, talk it out, that's internet brave. So Be Internet Awesome helps children to practice skills they need to be confident online explorers in a free and easy to navigate game. So we'll share those links with you. Digital Wellbeing Family Guide. It's created to help you talk about technology with your family through productive conversations and help you identify healthy habits that work for your whole family. We'll also share that link for Wellbeing Google. Tips for engaging with your child. Take early and talk often. Secondly, choose the right time to talk with your child. Open up and share too. Lastly, create a safe space. It's important not to bury our heads in the sand about technology. When parents say they don't do social media or don't get Snapchat, it's leaving children to cross busy road without training, and so parents are missing golden opportunities to keep children safe and informed. Experts recommend we become digital moms and digital dads and navigate the online world alongside our children. The conversation about digital safety should be a two-way street too. Talking about benefits and dangers in balance is the best way to maintain an open dialogue. So we've got 4 simple ways to help build the conversation online. Then also have those resources there. I mentioned the Google Digital Wellbeing Guide, YouTube Kids, Family Link, and Google Phishing Quiz. So those are some of the resources or tools that we can use. That is the resources that are available for parents. So I believe we've covered a lot today, although it's a lot to take in. There are plenty of resources available to you to reinforce the learning from today and offer extra helpful tips and guidelines. Don't worry about that. We'll share some of the links with you guys. Learn more. So those are just some of the resources also. What was your key takeaway from this session? Let's see those comments. What was your key takeaway from this session? You can put your comments there on the chat.
Nerissa Roberts says, key takeaway, online safety is possible for kids, but you need to know about and use relevant tools. Thank you, Nerissa. Do you still remember the tools that you can use as a parent? And you also say communication with kids on this topic, super important indeed. So they can be able to know which content not to look for and which ones are dangerous for them. Anyone else? Saved all the links. Oh wow, awesome. Thank you so much for that. This comes to the end of our session for today, although we had some glitches on the internet connectivity there, but then nonetheless, we are done for today. Thank you so much for attending the session. Let's see each other on the next session, which is tomorrow at 12. We will give you all the necessary details on the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much, my fellow colleagues, for helping out with some of the questions. And thank you again for attending. Let's do our byes on the chat. Just say bye. Thank you so much, Nerissa, for that. Thank you, Lindiwe.